Today we're going to highlight some unique features of the Power Probe hook in diagnosing a no crank condition on this 97 diesel Ram truck. I'm Jeff, CEO here at Power Probe. One of the most important tools in diagnosing any electrical problem is using your power of reason and the right schematic for the application. In this case, we'll use the manufacturer's service manual. Guys, don't just throw parts at a problem. Take the time to study the wiring diagram and understand how the circuit works first. Once you do that, you're more than 80% finished. In our wiring diagram, you can see that the starting circuit includes a starter motor, starter relay, clutch switch, ignition switch, fuse, and the positive post of the battery. First, let's start by checking to see if we have battery power. The Power Probe hook makes that real easy. Just connect the hookup clips to the battery terminals, red clip to positive and black clip to negative. After the quick boot up, the bottom line of the display shows battery voltage. The top line shows the preference settings when the probe tip is open or floating. Now let's head for the PDC and look at the inside cover. Here we see the position for the starter motor relay in the lower left-hand corner. Let's pull the relay and locate terminal 30. Terminal 30 is this one right here. As you can see, it is perpendicular to the two terminals that are parallel to each other. Terminal 30 provides source battery voltage for the starter when the relay is activated, so it needs to read battery volts. Let's probe it and compare the difference between the probe tip voltage and the battery voltage. Both readings are equal, which tells us there is no voltage drop. But how do we know that the circuit won't break down when it's under a load? That's simple. Just press the hook's hotshot button and see if the circuit will pass or fail. It says pass. That is a good positive circuit. Now we can move on to the starter relay itself. I'm going to use this cool relay test jumper from Lyle so I can measure and operate the relay while it's still connected in the starter circuit. Let's contact the probe tip to relay solenoid terminal 86. The hook smart tip instantly detects its resistance and shows ohms in the display. Now let's activate it by pressing the power switch. That's a healthy cranking motor. Now we just verified that there's nothing wrong with the starter and the starter relay. The next component up line is the clutch position switch, which gets its voltage from the ignition switch when it's turned to the start position. We will use a Power Probe wire piercer to connect into the wire going to the clutch position switch. Here's the wire right here by the clutch pedal. Now connect the 4mm Gold Series lead to the piercer and plug the other end of the lead to the hook's 4mm tip jack. As you can see, the bottom line is still showing source battery voltage. The top line shows the hook preferences, which means open circuit. This reading is expected because the circuit is open at both the clutch position switch and the ignition switch. Now turn the ignition to start. The top line still shows only preferences. The circuit is still open, so we need to test the ignition switch next. But before we do that, let's supply battery voltage to the clutch position switch by using the hook. Press the power switch and then depress the clutch pedal. There we go. That is a good sign. We just eliminated the clutch pedal switch as the culprit. This leaves us with the ignition switch circuit. To gain access to it, we need to remove the lower cover on the steering column. Now I need to show you a cool trick that is fast and safe for finding open circuits. I'm going to supply a constant 12 volts to the open circuit with the hook while we use the Power Probe 3 to see how far it goes until we lose it. First, set the hook circuit breaker setting to 2 amps to keep it safe. To do this, press Select, then the left button until 2 amps is displayed. Now, press the down button to the switch preferences and set it to latch. Press Select to return to Power Probe hook mode. The preference line shows 2 amps and the switch preferences show L for latch. With the hook still connected to the clutch position switch circuit, press the power switch to latch continuous voltage to the circuit. Let's probe the ignition start terminal with the Power Probe 3. We're still not getting a reading, so let's test the wire itself. We've got voltage to this point, but no volts on the ignition terminal. Let's test the ignition switch by turning it to start. The ignition switch works great, so all we need to do is fix the internal break in the wire. These kind of wire breaks are common in areas where excessive flexing takes place, such as tilt steering wheels. We repaired the wire and the terminal, made sure it has plenty of slack to flex and move. Now let's see if it'll start. Well, there you have it, guys. Don't just replace parts. Remember to use your power of reason, the right schematic, and the right tools for an accurate diagnosis. If you have any questions about Power Probe products, ask your tool dealer or go to our website at powerprobe.com.